Welcome back to Doll Seasons channel. Today we're going to be working on this little Class C motorhome. The customer thinks he might have a propane leak here around the tank. When he turns he normally does not leave the tank on at all times, and the other day when he turned the tank on to check everything because he's going to use it, he thought he smelled a leak here. So we're going to check it out, and we're going to take you along. We use a lot of soapy water when we're working on propane. You can buy special stuff to check for propane leaks, but I just use water and dishwashing soap. I made up a little extra. It's new. I was running really low. That's how I make my soapy water. Now let's go down here and spray it around a little bit and see if we see any bubbles. Alright, propane tank is on, and I don't hear or smell anything right now. He's already checked all this stuff with soapy water. What I want to do basically is check this regulator out, because it has a vent down here, and if that regulator has an internal failure, it's got a rubber diaphragm in there. If it has an internal failure, it'll leak right out this vent. Well, you can't see the vent. You can't really get soapy water on it. What you can do is put your finger under it, kind of block most of the vent hole off, and I really thought we'd probably see some bubbles there. Those bubbles that you see, that's just the soapy water. If it were leaking, you would see it blowing big old bubbles. So, well, I kind of really thought that's what we was going to see. Like I say, customers already leak tested all this stuff. I can go back over it again. Really wouldn't anticipate seeing an issue here anywhere. Oh, actually we do. Look there. That's what happens when you got a leak. Instead of coming out the vent like it normally does, it's just coming out of the body of the regulator. Well, there's what it looks like when you got a leak. So we need to just change his regulator. Never seen that before. It always leaks out the vent, not out of the body. Not out of the body of the regulator. Huh. Okay. Well, gonna go get a regulator out of the truck and we'll switch it out. Got a brand new regulator here. Now, this regulator, to replace this, is designed to be mounted horizontally. So you always have to keep that in mind. Because you've got regulators that are meant to be horizontal, vertical. You know, I've seen people put them in this way. The water gets in the vent, so the vent's always got to go down. Okay, so this is a regulator made for this application, and we're gonna switch it out. Like you've seen on my other propane videos, not going to use Teflon tape. I'm going to use liquid Teflon. Now on gas fittings, when you're dealing with gas that is a flammable gas, if you see a groove cut in the fittings like this, that means those fittings are left-hand threads. So normally you would put your wrench on there and go, oh, we're going to cut the propane off before we start. Normally you'd put your wrench on there and go down to loosen this fitting, but you have to go up because it has left-hand threads. I believe that goes for any flammable gas. I believe that it will have a groove and left-hand threads. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe all flammable gas is like that. The customer asked me if he, if this was something that he did. I don't know. I mean, it has obviously had some internal failure. whenever you're cutting the valve on, you may want to just turn it on slowly. Don't just crank it wide open. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say whether it was anything he did or it was just an internal failure. And it was just time to fail. Now this end of it is, it's hard to get both wrenches in there at the same time. Has right hand threads. There's no grooves in these fittings. I don't know why, I don't know how they pick and choose, you know, what's going to have right hand, what's going to have left hand, I don't know. Smear a little liquid Teflon on there. Make sure it gets down in the threads good. Don't get this stuff on your clothes. It never comes off. It will be there forever. Spin the new regulator on. Snug it up real good. Put the regulator back up to the tank. Snug it up real good with our 7/8 wrench. Tell you what, if you're dealing with propane fittings, use a wrench. Or use the appropriate size wrench. It drives me crazy to see people that have propane bottles like on the front of their trailer, and all they've ever used on is a pair of pliers. It's ridiculous. Get yourself a wrench. It's just one of my pet peeves. Alright. Cameron the cameraman is going to go grab my soapy water, and I'm going to cut this back on, and we'll make sure we don't have any leaks on anything we've done here. Alright, going to cut the gas on slowly. We don't have to check any of this stuff, but we only have to check what we've done because we just haven't disturbed anything. See, I've got a little leak here. See how well that shows up? So what I'm going to do, I'll just take that fitting off and wipe around in there, make sure everything's good and clean, and put it back on. I think sometimes just a little bit of dust or something gets in these fittings when you take them off, and it'll cause a leak like that. Because everything's tapered. Got this tapered fitting here, this tapered male fitting that goes in that tapered female fitting. Just sometimes it seems like they don't seal. Got a little dirt, a little dust or something in there. Of course, the second time you always just go ahead and snug it up a little bit extra. Still, don't go crazy. Those are brass fittings. They won't take a lot of abuse. So we've got just little bitty bubbles that you probably won't be able to see. that's weird. And just snug it up a little bit more. Still just little bitty, little bitty, baby. I'm gonna take it back off, wipe it out again. I'm sure this is China's best brass fittings here. So they might be just slightly off or whatever. Everything seems to be clean. We'll try it again. Third time's a charm, right? Still just little bitty bubbles. Little bitty. Let's snug it up a little bit more. Alright, we no longer have little bubbles, so I feel good about the repair. I'll just check that vent real quick. Got no bubbles. Regulator's good. Regulator's not leak. The body of the regulator's not leaking like the other one was. Actually, we still have a little bubble.
Yeah, still.
Man, this is an extend to stay fitting the customer has here. I guarantee you, if we were actually putting the valve or the regulator into the valve here, I bet we wouldn't be having these issues. I bet it's this extend to stay fitting here that's giving me some problems. Don't want to hurt nothing. We'll give that a minute. Sometimes it does. If you got a really small leak, it will take a minute to show up. All right, I think we finally got it. All right, well, there you have it, folks. There is finding your leak on your LP regulator and replacing the regulator. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and me and Cameron's gonna go down the road and fix another one.